Hey everybody, it's Tiff Renegade here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformer Studio Series 86 Mtmte Collection Perceptor. Now, the thing about this guy is, in my opinion, I think he's probably the best Mtmte release we've gotten so far. Not only because, he's in better colors, but he's got the most differences from his original release. Plus, we get extra content with this release as well. The last four that we've gotten so far with Optimus Megatron, Wheeljack, and Sideswipe, some of them are good, but they're just slight repaints, and they really didn't do much to those figures. But with this guy, they actually did a lot. But before we look at that, I do want to have a special thanks here for somebody who had commented on the Optimus Prime video. They actually requested for this figure to be reviewed, and I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? This guy is still in stores right now, and I think it would be pretty wise to go ahead and put him on the channel. So let's go ahead and slap that comment on the screen right here so you guys can see that. And let's take a look at Perceptor. So taking a look at Perceptor here, we can see that this guy looks really, really good. I think they did an excellent job on this guy, not only because of the paint, but they actually changed a lot from Studio Series 86, which I don't have to compare today because I sold that figure a long time ago because I just wasn't happy with it. And I'm really happy that I did because this guy has become my definitive Perceptor in my collection. I think he just looks fantastic. I think it's really nice. But they actually added a wider torso right here. You can see right there. It actually comes out a lot longer, so it's a little chunkier, which looks pretty nice. I like that a lot. And then on the back, they actually added this hinged piece right here. So it covers up this big gap that was on the 86 version, which I'm so thankful for. This needed it badly, seriously. But aside from that, I think the head's a little different too, but I'm not too sure on that. But I really like the colors on him a lot. I think that the light red and the light blues and the darker grays all kind of contrast with each other, and they look really good. I really like this because it looks like he just jumped out of the movie right here on the set. He just looks really, really good. But we can see his head over here. He's got some nice light gray on his face. Looks really nice. He's got some nice blue eyes. Looks awesome. He's got yellow right there. And then his whole bucket head looks really nice. I like that a lot. Looks like Perceptor. Looks good. He's got his little microscope. Sits right there on his shoulder. Looks good. They actually got rid of the clear plastic on this guy this time, so this is just normal plastic, and so is his little chest thing right there, because last time, this part was clear plastic, so you could see right through it, and the Autobot symbol was up here last time, but now it's on the bottom. So, in my opinion, I think that the normal plastic is a lot better for Perceptor, but if you are still in the camp of liking the clear plastic right here, all power to you, seriously. Like, I think both designs are totally fine, but in my personal opinion, I like the painted detail. I think it looks a lot better. But, aside from that, his shoulders got the light red. His arms right here got nice blue on it. Looks pretty good. He's got his little knobs right there. Nice molded detail. Gray right there on the waist. Blue on the thighs. Red on the legs. Gray on the feet. Looks really good. I like that a lot. And then, like I said, they added this little flap back here. So, fills this up pretty nicely. Got some nice colors back there. And then they got the treads on here for the tank mode, which they actually don't suggest that you do the tank mode with this guy. They took it out of the instructions. So you could still do it, and we'll show it on here, but I think they got rid of the tabs that keep it locked in place. But if you wanted to do it, it's still an option. But yeah, that's it for his robot mode. So up next, we're going to take a look at the biggest part of this set, which is the inclusion of 2 cassette tapes. We do get Ratbat again. This is just the Siege version, just painted a little better and looks pretty good. And then he comes with a little jetpack this time, so you can stick that back there. But there's not much different about him. He looks about the same. Still pretty good Ratbat right there. And then, of course, we get Ramhorn, and this guy looks really, really good. I like this. So, I mean, a lot of people have a problem with how these cassettes are designed because they're not 100% accurate to what they're supposed to be representing. They're supposed to be a little skinnier in a lot of places and a lot more, I would say, agile, but I don't have a problem with it because they're really tiny and there's just not much you can do with that, Like, for a budget, I just don't see you being able to make these guys look accurate to the show just because of how much money it would take to do that and how much we'd have to pay as a consumer to get something like that. And I know a lot of people wouldn't be afraid to pay that price point, but I'm okay with these. I like these guys. Steeljaw, I don't have a real big problem with. I'm fine with these guys because I don't really mess with them that much. They're just little companion pieces to me, and I just I still like him a lot. I like Ramhorn. Ramhorn is actually one of my favorites. So, you know, getting him in this pack was a big deal for me because I was really excited to finally get him. And he looks good. In my opinion, I think he looks really nice. But they kind of cheated here because he's supposed to have 2 of these right here, but they kind of covered that up with a little bit of that action. So you kind of got that there. So it's kind of hidden how they did it, which, you know, it's all right. I don't really mind it. But he's got some nice little stubby legs right there. Looks pretty good. His little tail back there. And you know what? They did cheat again because this whole section comes off. So this is how he looks without it, and he looks kind of naked. So you do have to plug this whole thing in, which, you know, I think you had to do that with Steeljaw too. So a little bit of cheating there, but it's all right. I mean, they're just, like I said, little companion pieces, so there's not much to them aside from that. But yeah, there you go. So when it comes to the accessories, Perceptor here comes with his little blaster. Looks about the same as last time, just got a nice red coat on it. Looks pretty good. I like that a lot. So you got that. And then these guys are pretty much the main event here with accessories because, like I said before, you can take these pieces off because there's a little bit of parts forming with them, which, you know, you can't really help since they're so tiny and stuff, but you can actually turn these into weapons for Perceptor as well. So you can go ahead and plug that in right there, which is pretty cool. And the same with Ratbat. You can take off his little jetpack, do that, and then you can move these around and then give the other hand that right there. Get it? So you can give Perceptor some extra weapons if you want to. And, you know, as collectors, I know we're not going to be doing that, but for younger kids, that's a really nice, like, inclusion for a little more playability if you want to do that. So it's really cool that they did that. This right here, his microscope, is not an accessory. It's actually screwed in place. So I know usually on Perceptor, they leave that in the package separately, but on 86, he is screwed in there. So there you go. So for articulation, let's look at Perceptor here. He can look to the left, he can look to the right, he can look all the way around if you want him to. He can't look up, but he can look down upon you if you so choose. You can move his little microscope all over the place if that's something you want to do. You can put his arm out all the way. You can move it all the way around. Nothing hinders that back there. That's pretty nice. He does have a bicep swivel, which is awesome. He has an elbow bend, which we love. But there's nothing with his wrists. You can only go in and out for transformation, so no wrist swivel, sadly. But he does have a waist swivel, and we like that a lot, so we're thankful, Hasbro. Thank you. But he can kick out all the way. He can kick back all the way, which is awesome. That you get a lot of movement there. You can kick out all the way, which is nice. He does have a hinge here, so you can actually do that if you want to, so you actually have a lot of articulation here. He does have a nice knee bend, goes all the way up there, and I would say that's a 10 out of 10 on the knee bend. That's nice. And then he's got some hinges on his feet, so you can make him stand any way you please. But we also have some movement on these little cassette guys. Not a lot of movement, but there is some. You can move his little stubby legs if you want to over here on Ramhorn. You can move his head up and down. You have that option right there. Looks pretty good. That's it for him. And then Ratbat, of course, you can move these wings up and down like so. You can move these outer wings in and out. Looks pretty good. And then his little stubby feet, you can move up and down. It's pretty nice. His head, it doesn't move a lot. You can move it up and down if you want to. That's mostly for transformation, but you have the option there. So yeah, that's it for articulation. So for comparison, let's go ahead and slap a deluxe in here. We got 86 Hot Rod. So you can see how those two look together. I think they look pretty good. Almost the same size. So you got that there. And then we'll take a look at his buddy from the movie. We got 86 Blaster. So you got him right there. Looks pretty good. I like that combination a lot. So you got that. And then we'll slap a bad guy in here. We got Soundwave from the Netflix series. I don't have 86 yet, but 86 is the same size as Blaster. So you get a pretty good idea on that. But you can see these two right there. Looks pretty good. You got that. And then we'll go ahead and bring in Blaster. Toshiba Blaster. And I don't think anyone's done this comparison, so I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, guys, but I think I'm the first. So you can see that there. And, of course, we got to bring in the behemoth himself, guys. 86 Commander Class Optimus. And, of course, everyone looks great with this guy. So you can see that right there. So to compare with our little friends here, let's go ahead and bring in the other cassettes we've got here. Go ahead and line these guys up over here. that. Where did I put Laserbeak? Oh, he's right here. So we'll go ahead and put him right there in the middle. So you can see how these all look together, and I like that a lot. I know that these cassettes aren't truly accurate or anything. I think Frenzy and Rumble are probably the best that we've gotten so far, but I'm not a big hater of these. I think they're fun little gimmicky accessories to go with your blaster and Soundwave. So there you have that right there. Make sure I grab the right ones. So we got that. And like I said before in the 4-pack Age of the Primes thing, if I have a G1, I'll bring it out here for comparison. And the only one I have is Ramhorn, so you can see how they look together. And honestly, like, I get what people are saying where they should be like flatter, you know, a little more cassette-like, but I don't mind the chunkiness. You know, he's pretty cool still. He's got his little stubby legs. So, I don't know. It's still pretty cool in my opinion, but yeah, you can see how they look. And then, of course, we have a special thing to compare here. Hydrofen from Wild King, and nobody can stop me from comparing it. So there you go. So here we have Perceptor in his pretty good looking microscope mode. I think this guy looks pretty good. I don't think it's too like amazing or anything, but I think it gets the job done. I mean, it's how he looks in the movie and the cartoon and such. So I think they did a pretty good job capturing how he should look. But I don't think it's too amazing or anything. It's just Perceptor. I think a lot of us will keep him in his robot mode anyways, but if you want to, I mean, you could recreate Optimus Prime's death scene. If you want to do that, you have that option. It works pretty well. He looks pretty good. But, I mean, aside from that, it's just Perceptor. When it comes to the playability, though, it's not as good as the Titans Returns version. That one, like, I really do regret getting rid of that because I do enjoy, like, how much fun that alt mode was, because you could move the knob, and this would go in and out, so you could kind of look at the little Titan Master laying in here. So this doesn't have a lot of that. It's just molded plastic through and through. There's nothing going on here. I mean, you can move his little microscope around and such, but, I mean, that's really about it. A lot of this is just molded in place, so that's about it. I mean, on the back, he's got that flap, that new flap that covers up his head, so that makes the alt mode look a lot better, so I like that. My biggest complaint, though, is how this guy, like, transforms. There's nothing keeping this crap in place. Like, especially right here on his waist, when he's in his microscope mode, like, you're just relying on tight joints. If his joints aren't tight, I mean, you're just flopping forward, flopping backwards. I mean, there's just nothing keeping this tab in place, and it's really annoying. I really don't like that at all. But like I said, I mean, we're going to keep him in his robot mode for the most part, so yeah, I mean, that's it for Perceptor's alt mode. But then, of course, you could also turn him into his tank mode. Like I said, you're not really supposed to do this. They actually remolded this guy a lot, so a lot of the tabs just don't fit anymore, so it's just not compatible. But if you want to do it, you do have the option, and you could theoretically put him in his little tank mode, which I think looks a little better than the microscope mode. That's my opinion. But yeah, you have the option. I mean, it's still got the treads molded on there, so yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'd say these two are probably the weakest part of the whole pack. Their alt modes are just kind of meh. Hasbro and Takara just have a really hard time making these guys actually look like cassettes. I'd say Rumble and Frenzy are probably the only ones that actually look like cassettes. These guys are just meh. I feel like if you walked up to someone on the street and they didn't know Transformers and you say, "What do you think these are?" They'd be like, "I don't know, like bricks or something." Like, there's just, like, at least Ramhorn has the little spin things in here so you can get a little bit of a look in there, and then I guess Ratbat does. The screws are supposed to represent that, but it's just not accurate. It just doesn't look like a cassette tape, and it kind of sucks. But, you know, you can use these guys with Blaster and Soundwave. You can open up their doors. You can slap Ratbat in there, fit that, and then you can put Ramhorn over here. Put him into Blaster, maybe, if you get everything to fit right. There you go. Pretty good fit. So you can see those right there. I do know that these work on the 86 Soundwave, so you don't have to worry about these not fitting. So they do, they are cross-compatible, I'd say. But when it comes to this version of Soundwave, these are pretty tight when you put them in there, and especially with blasters. Blasters are just so thick that just putting it in the old version of Soundwave, it's just a really tight fit. So you can get it in there, but like I said, it's just a tight fit. And I think the 86 version's the same size as Blaster's. I'm not too sure. We'll look at that whenever I get it. But as it stands right now, it is a tight fit in this version of Soundwave. It's doable, but, you know, I'd just be careful with it. But, yeah, you have the option. So for vehicle comparison, let's go ahead and slap Hot Rod in here. You can see how Perceptor absolutely towers over him. So you got that there. And, of course, we'll bring in Blaster so you can see how they look. And honestly, I wish they would include, like, micro versions of these guys when they make them so they can go with the other Transformers. But you can see how they look. Looks pretty good. And, of course, we'll bring in Soundwave. You can see how they look together. It's pretty good. And then, of course, we got to bring out Toshiba Blaster so you can see how they look together. So you got that right there. And last but not least, the behemoth himself, Studio Series 86 Optimus, and everybody looks good with him, so there you go. So to compare with our little buddies here, we're going to go ahead and slap in some more cassettes in here. So we'll go ahead and put those back there. If we can get Laserbeak to stand up. So you can kind of see how they all look together. And I think, you know, Rumble and Frenzy look the best. They look like actual cassette tapes. Everybody else is kind of doing a free-for-all out here. So you got all of that right there. And of course, we'll bring in the G1 version, which actually does look like a cassette tape. So it's just like the stickers. Like, all they got to do is put some stickers on here. That's literally it. But it is what it is. So you got that. And of course, we'll bring out the main event, Hydrophant from Wild King, just for goofs and gaffs. So there you go on that. So what are my final thoughts on Transformers Studio Series 86 Mtme Collection Perceptor? This is a big win, guys. I think you should definitely get this set in your collection if you haven't already gotten him. And when it comes to the price point, I actually do think the $35 at Target, I think Hasbro Pulse is the newer price point, but the $35 price point at Target is actually really reasonable, and Target's always got sales, so you could get him cheaper at any time as well. But you do get a lot in this set. You get a completely retooled deluxe, you get extra accessories, you get 2 core class figures, and a brand new paint job. So I'd say, yeah, $35 is a pretty good value for what you're getting here. And it's just a really nice figure. I think Perceptor himself is just really accurate to how he should be, and it's just nice. And I think the 2 little cassette guys are really fun. So I think it's a good value, and I think this is what Mtme should strive for. Like, the Optimus Prime should be up to a leader class and then give him extra pieces to fill in the gaps and more accessories. And Sideswipe should be up to a Voyager and give him his swords from Devastation and such. You know, just do extra stuff to make us want to get these guys more. So for the collector's rating, I'm going to give this guy an 8.5. I think we're going to knock off some points just because of the microscope mode. It's not terrible, but, you know, I just don't like how it can flop forward like it does, and it's relying too much on its joints to keep itself upward. I don't like that. I think it should have tabs to keep it in place. And then on top of that, the cassettes, I do like the cassettes a lot, but in their alt mode, they don't really look like cassettes, so I got to knock points off of that as well. But as a whole, I think you should add him to your collection. He looks really nice, and he'll look good with your Season 1 cast or your Season 3, or if you have a movie shelf for your 86 collection, he's just going to look really, really good on that shelf. So he's a definite win on that front. For the parents rating, I'm going to give this an 8. I think, you know, Perceptor is a fun figure, but at the same time, he's not as cool as the other vehicles, so this is really kind of just up to you if you think your kid would like a microscope transformer in the 2 little cassettes it comes with. But as a whole, you know, he's pretty fun. The microscope mode's just kind of boring. There's not much playability there, like I said before in the video. You're kind of just going to have to use your imagination a lot with it. But yeah, I mean, and I think an 8's fair for him. And I think, you know, it's just mostly up to you. What do you think your kid's like? This also does come with a lot of small pieces, so just keep that in mind as well. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I do like to upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I try my best, so just stay tuned for that. And leave those comments down below, guys. Seriously, your comments are the most important part of these videos, what the community thinks about it. Do you guys love this guy? Do you guys hate this guy? Or do you feel kind of meh about him? So leave those comments down below, and I will see you guys next time.